To reach the playoffs, the Storm know Willis must hit his target. Like Stevie Thomas, the Storm's top all-time receiver. But he has to have the time. By controlling the line of scrimmage, the Storm afford PT the chance to connect with Lawrence Samuel, who has developed into a threat anywhere on the field. And the hookup of Willis and the incomparable George LaFrance has been good for 16 touchdowns. But the battle in the trenches is where it starts. The Storm go at it with Dave Ewart's Texas Terror next on Sunshine Network. In Houston, Texas, it is hot and humid. One of the hot spots in the United States, just as you would expect on the 4th of July weekend. Welcome inside the Summit, where tonight on Sunshine Network, we present the Tampa Bay Storm and the Texas Terror. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our coverage. Rick Peckham along with Jerry Johnson, and we expect the action inside the Summit to be just as hot as the weather outside. And Jerry, we're getting to the time of year, week 10 here of the Arena Football League season, where it's time to start looking at the standings, check out the playoff positions, and as far as the Storm and their fans are concerned, they're checking with a little more apprehension than usual.
Indeed, the Storm in a battle for their playoff lives. Arizona, New Jersey, both 8-1. Orlando is 7-2. Iowa, Nashville, both 6-3. Milwaukee alone at 5-4. Tampa Bay tied with Albany and San Jose. All those teams at 4-5, tied for the last and final playoff spot.
Here are the games remaining, including tonight's for the Storm, and I'd have to say the schedule's favored them.
Sure does. The Storm play the next 3 at home against the 2-7 Anaheim Piranhas. Iowa is next, July 18th, with the best record at 6-3. Florida, the last home game, July 26th. They are 3-6, and the Storm will finish on the road in San Jose.
Now, Jerry, in preparation for this game with the Terror, Tim Markham made more changes in the Storm lineup. He brought in a lineman, a new face in Earl Scott. He brought in a very familiar face in Andre Bowden.
Sure did. Andre Bowden holds 8 Storm rushing records. He played for the Storm in 1991, 92, and 93. Should add a new dimension tonight to the Storm defense. And Earl Scott played center for Amsterdam of the World League. This guy is 6'3", 300 pounds. And Peter Tom Willis is his brand new best friend. PT looking for some good protection up front tonight from Earl Scott.
So the Storm and the Terror continue their preparations for this battle tonight in Houston, and we'll continue with our coverage in just a moment. Tampa Bay Storm here on Sunshine Network. Welcome back with us. Rick Peckham, Jerry Johnson with you. And the Terror trying to rebound from a 1-13 inaugural season. Last year, they committed 3-6. They've had a tremendous upheaval in their lineup. Lately, there's been an upheaval at quarterback, Jerry.
They sure are. The Terror working on their 3rd quarterback of the season. Gary Porter is the guy who came in a week ago against Albany, threw for 395 yards, 4 touchdowns. That in his first career start. Safe to say that Gary Porter is all fired up tonight.
And the Storm will try to make life miserable for him as we check the keys to the game, brought to you by Budget.
Well, the first key, getting offensive. That means the Tampa Bay Storm has got to score some points tonight. They do that by protecting the quarterback. Picking Porter, that belongs to the Storm secondary. They need to make some big plays on defense. Only 7 interceptions by the Storm secondary all year. Look for that to happen tonight. And combat chemistry. You know, this is the 50-yard indoor war. The Storm needs to find that chemistry it needs to take this team to the next level, that level being the playoffs.
Jerry, you are the king of alliteration, and we'll be back with tonight's opening kickoff between the Storm and the Terror from Houston in just a moment. As the Storm and the Terror is set to go at it, in the middle of the field, we've got the coin toss. The Storm, as the visiting team, will make the call on here, and we'll see what develops. The referee tonight is Jack Baker. The coin toss was won by the Terror. They will defer and receive the second half kickoff. So they will kick off to the Storm to open this game. As the Storm coming in at 4-5, Tim Markham rallying the troops. His team 2-2 on the road, preparing to take on a team. This is one of those head-to-head games, Jerry. You've got to win to keep the Terror behind you, because in the final analysis, a lot of head-to-head comparisons will be made if you get some tiebreakers.
Yeah, that's the way it works in the Arena Football League. Tim Markham is 87-21 in his 9th year as a head coach in this league. He knows better than anyone else how that head-to-head comparison works. And a year ago, Tampa Bay swept this Texas Terror team, beat them here and in Tampa Bay. And tonight they're looking to keep that streak alive.
We're looking at the youngest coach in the Arena Football League, Dave Ewert, just 28 years of age, a former member of the Storm, played for Tampa Bay back in 1991. He was a lineman.
Dave Ewert 9-11 in his second year. A year ago, he coached the St. Louis team into the playoffs.
Earl Bruce was the coach to start the year, resigned, and Ewert took over and did a nice job for the Stampede. Richard DeFelice, number 6, will kick off. And he has a nasty habit of kicking footballs over the screen, Jerry. So he may or may not see a return here.
Yeah, we'll talk some more about him a little bit later, but he has one fine leg here.
George LaFrance, as usual, is deep to receive the kick. And it bounces off the screen. LaFrance has to take it off the turf, and he's wrapped up and dropped. It'll be a touchback as Carlos Fowler, number 77, and Darrell Lane, number 92, led the charge in there defensively. They'll bring it out to the 5-yard line where the Storm will get things underway, 1st and 10.
Awfully difficult to take a ball like that when it bounces off the screen and basically dies like that one did. Take it off the turf. Peter Tom Willis, the starting quarterback tonight for the Storm. There, look at his numbers. 26 touchdowns on the year, but he has thrown 12 interceptions. PT going to have to pay close attention tonight.
He's got Stevie Thomas flanked out wide to the top of your screen. George LaFrance is stopped at the line of scrimmage. The motion man is Grantis Bell, number 8. The pass to Grantis Bell. He's in the clear. He's got a touchdown. A 45-yard touchdown pass on the game's first play from scrimmage from P.T. Willis to Grantis Bell, and the Storm are out in front 6-0.
Man, how about that? Not a flag down anywhere on the field. That means it's a good touchdown. That is the way to open a football game, folks. Tim Markham says, man, that's the way we got to get this thing going like that. And already the Storm in the first play of the game. Here it is. Peter Tom Willis from the 5-yard line drops back, unloads to Grantis Bell. A nice, pretty pass. Grantis Bell hauls it in. He's ahead of his man by a couple of steps. And Grantis Bell in for the touchdown. The extra point is no good. Well, it is good. And the Tampa Bay Storm lead the Texas Terror here in the first quarter, 7-0.
The Texas Terror would like to thank the following crew.
The Pepsi Stuff catalog is back, and you won't believe what's inside.
Touchdown pass from Willis to Grantis Bell, who, of course, has been with the Storm before, rejoining the team for last week's game in Orlando, where he caught 3 passes, and Rich Fall is set to kick off. Cotto Cotton, number 2, is the deep man, and Fall getting a good foot into this one, and Cotto, like LaFrance, has to take the ball off the turf. He loses one tackler. He's hemmed in and taken down by Michael Thornton, diving out over the goal line, and I think they're going to mark him inside the 1 as opposed to the touchback at the 5-yard line had he been tackled in the end zone.
That's a great break for the Storm defense. They get to get in their faces right away up close at that 1-yard line. I'll tell you, going back to that touchdown, Grantis Bell, he's only 5'8", goes 155 pounds out of West Virginia, but he has some speed, and he turned it on out there on the field. Blew himself down there and collected the touchdown. There are the numbers on Gary Porter coming into tonight's game.
Won a relief appearance. He started last week, and he throws a souvenir into the stands. Andy Chilcote well covered by Les Barley along the near side.
Willie Wyatt providing some early pressure up front for Gary Porter.
Let's have a look at tonight's starting lineups, brought to you by Discount Auto Parts.
For the Texas Terror, Gary Porter, the quarterback, Andy Chilcote, the fullback, Cotto Cotton, the wide receiver on one side, Lloyd Hill on the other, Carlos Fowler, Jamie Bragg.
A pass to Cotton, he's belted by Tracy Sanders, makes the grab. As they were starting from inside the 1, they're going to mark him at the 10-yard line. It's going to be very close to a first down spot here as Tim Markham is talking with Tom Bryan, the headlines. But let's have a look at the Storm defense brought to you by Discount Auto Parts. Sylvester Bembry opening up with Willie Wyatt, Wilkie Bazille on the front line, Les Barley, Stevie Thomas, Antoine Worthman, and the defensive specialists, Tracy Perkins, Tracy Sanders. And it is a first down. The gain of 10 for Gary Porter and the Terror.
A good lick, though, over there on the sidelines by Tracy Sanders.
We get to the motion man Holmes, and Wyatt came across, and flags go flying. Let's see who is at fault here.
Well, Willie Wyatt was...
55 on the defense. 3-yard penalty. Third down.
Yep, Willie Wyatt jumped off sides there. That'll be a 3-yard penalty. And it'll give the Terror a chance to begin anew.
Willie Wyatt, a guy who makes very few mistakes out there. He's a guy who doesn't pile up a lot of statistics in terms of tackles and sacks, but his work at the nose guard position enables others to clean up. Here's Porter firing and connecting with Bernard Holmes, their leading receiver. Slips a tackle and crosses midfield. He reaches the Storm 23-yard line. And a first down for the Terror.
Yeah, Bernard Holmes is the man on offense for this Terror team. He is second in the league with receptions coming into tonight's game, 65. Fifth in scoring with 100 points, fifth in touchdowns, and sixth in receiving yards. So Bernard Holmes is a guy that the Storm defensive backs will be coming up against all night long.
Here's a pitch to Andy Chilcote. He is sacked. A nice tackle by Antoine Worthman. Les Barley making sure Chilcote goes down, and he picks up about a yard. Andy played with the Iowa Barnstormers last year, and the Storm saw him in the Arena Bowl championship game.
He's a big boy, 6 feet tall, but 250 pounds. This guy can rumble himself on down the field.
He picks up a yard at second down and 9 for the Terror, who trails 7-0. A stunning completion from P.T. Willis to Grannis Bell on the opening play of the game. Here's Porter firing. Lloyd Hill. He's got a touchdown. On the corner route, Hill made the grab, and the Terror come right back.
That's going to happen when you get over and get some speed, and it happened right there. Antoine Worthman on the coverage, but Lloyd Hill gets himself wide open. Here's Gary Porter with some pretty good protection right there. Fires a strike. Hill has to leap in order to catch that football. And Worthman just a day late and $1 short on that one. A good touchdown by the Terror. And DeFelice is pretty phenomenal in extra points.
He's missed only 4 out of 55 this season. And his kick is good here. As Jack Baker indicates, the kick through the uprights, and the Terror have tied this game up at 7 with 9:53 remaining in the first quarter.
Tampa's winning team is the Sheraton Grand Hotel at Shula Steakhouse. In the heart of Tampa's West Shore Business District, the Sheraton Grand is located at Kennedy and...
See a couple of scores on the board early in this ball game. The Terror score a lot of points. They give up even more. And Richard DeFelice will kick off to the Storm with George LaFrance back deep. We look at the scoring drive by Texas. Almost 4 minutes. Elapsing at the 49-yard drive. It started from inside the 1. Here's LaFrance, a marker down. Looking for room. George ducks out to the 2-yard line. Jamie Bragg got a piece of him, number 99. Jack Baker is tonight's referee. Rusty Spindell, Jerry Bergman, Tom Bryan, James Anderson.
Kick interference. Number 80 on the kicking team. 3-yard penalty from the 5-yard line. First down.
Well, that going in favor of the Tampa Bay Storm. Here's another look at that Texas Terror touchdown, and great pass protection there for Gary Porter, and a beautiful leaping catch there by Lloyd Hill. He's a pretty tall fella anyway. Lloyd Hill, 6'1", 190 out of Texas Tech, hauls in the first Texas touchdown of the night.
Storm start from the 8, the 3-yard penalty against Texas for penetrating the 5-yard line on the kick coverage. LaFrance accepts the pass from P.T. Willis. He's banged into the boards by Demetrius Martin, number 24, at the 22-yard line. So they pick up 14 as we look at the Storm starting lineup and offense, brought to you by Discount Auto Parts.
P.T. Willis, the quarterback. Les Barley, the fullback. Grannis Bell. Stevie Thomas, the receiver. Sylvester Bembry, Willie Wyatt, Wilkie Bazile up front. And George LaFrance is the Tampa Bay Storm offensive specialist.
First down for the Storm out of the 22. LaFrance circles back in motion. They've overloaded the short side with Bell and Thomas. Here's a handoff to Tony Jones. Jones fumbles, reaches back for the ball. It's picked up by Carlos Fowler. They will mark him down at the Storm 23-yard line. It looked like Jones had some running room, but one of the bugaboos that have haunted this team this season has been fumbling the ball, and they turn it over on the fumble to Fowler and the Terror here near midfield.
Yeah, Tampa Bay has fumbled 18 times this season, and now they have lost 9 of them, and that was a good play right there by Chad Kofer. He ripped the ball away from Tony Jones, and the Texas Terror managed to recover that thing. It's Carlos Fowler who comes up with it, and the Texas Terror now have the ball on the 24.
Porter with some time fires. He connects with Kato Cotton, and he's wrestled to the turf by Tracy Sanders at the Tampa Bay 14-yard line. And that'll be very close to the first down for Texas.
Gary Porter has been very effective for this team, as we mentioned earlier, the third quarterback for Texas, and Texas giving him plenty of time up front so far, and that is one of the keys of the night. Tampa Bay's defense is going to have to rush the passer, put some more pressure on Gary Porter, and keep him from completing those little 10, 12-yard out patterns like that.
He's off to a 4-for-5 start. And Porter now has Hill in motion. Here's the wide receiver screen to Cotto on second and short. He's checked by Bowden. Also in there, Lawrence Samuels getting a piece of him. And it looks like he reached the sticks there for the first down, but it's close. A negligible gain by the Terror.
And he didn't get it. A lot of lateral movement out there. It kind of looked like he was working hard at it, but he didn't get any forward momentum as the Storm played that line of scrimmage to perfection on that play. And they forced third down here. And Texas not very good in third down situations.
No, they're not. Only 39% success rate. Third and a foot. From the 14 of Tampa Bay, the handoff to Chilcote. He's got a big hit by Tony Jones. He fell forward. Let's see where they mark it.
Man, that was a good one, too. Number 44 against number 44. Tony Jones with the big hit, and they do not get the first down. That's going to bring up fourth down. Yeah, they're talking it over. Trying to figure out what to do here. The officials are.
Jim Thon, the offensive coordinator of Texas, who's on the field and makes the play calls, is asking for measurement. He can't understand why they don't measure, and now it looks like they will measure.
Man, that was a great effort, though, by Tony Jones. He just blasted right up the middle, saw the run coming all the way, and just laid one on Andy Chilcote. Knocked him backwards, stopped him dead in his tracks. So they'll bring those chains out here to measure and see if the Storm defense managed to hold Texas through that down.
Well, after 6 years and 4 Arena Football League championships in the Thunderdome, the world champion Storm have moved across to the Ice Palace, and they will be hosting the Anaheim Piranhas next Saturday, July 12th at 7:30 at the Ice Palace. And for tickets, you see the numbers to call. And it will be a fourth, and it looked like they lost a couple of inches on that play.
Yeah, the official signaled it was a good foot to a first down here, and it appears that Texas is going to go for it. With a guy like DeFelice and his field goal record, you might think that these guys might want to put some more points on the board instead of gambling here early in the contest. But gamble they will.
Porter out of Northwest Oklahoma State. He has Hill in motion. And Porter will keep it, looking for room. Belted by Samuels, and once again, where are they going to spot this? And it looks like Tom Bryant is indicating they're going to spot it closer to the 13-yard line, which would give Texas the first down. And it is a first down. He gets 1 yard on the keeper.
Yeah, they're going to call it forward momentum here. Gary Porter going off to his right, and you can see he takes a step right there just before he's met by Lawrence Samuels. And the officials are going to give it to him. Gary Porter rolling to his right shows lots of courage by the quarterback. Notice down there on the field before the game, a very strong young man, very muscular, Likes to get in there and battle with these guys. Of course, trying to impress his coaches, making his second start for the Terror.
So the Terror continue on by the skin of their teeth. Here's Porter looking toward the end zone, and Perkins had his man, Bernard Holmes, totally sealed off, and the ball sails incomplete. It'll be 2nd and 10 from the Storm 14-yard line.
Perkins just about turned that play into his own. He appeared to have gotten himself into position as a receiver there, blocking his man out. Gary Porter trying to drive this team in for a second touchdown here in the first quarter. Tied at 7.
Porter has Holmes in motion. Pumps. Now he's in trouble. He's wrestled to the turf back at midfield by Tony Woods. A strong play by the 280-pounder out of Oklahoma. Tony Woods, the veteran lineman. And they will mark Porter down at the Tampa Bay 23-yard line, a loss of 9.
What a great play by Tony Woods. A couple of weeks ago when he joined this team, Tim Markham said he was going to be a great player for this team. And he blows past the offensive line and gets himself a sack, something the Storm has not done too well this year. They only have 5 sacks coming into this game. That's the 6th of the season.
Woods working on that defensive line now with Bazille and Andre Bowden. Porter blocks one for a touchdown. He stepped inside Tracy Sanders to make the grab, and on a 23-yard connection, Porter and Cotton combined to give the Terror the lead.
And Kodo Cotton heads up into the stands and hands somebody the football personally. Gives them a gift. Kodo Cotton, one of the best return men in the league this year, and right now he celebrates a touchdown here for Texas. Again, great protection by the offensive line, and Kodo Cotton reaches up, pulls it down. Nothing Tracy Sanders could do about that one. And with the extra point, if it's good, Texas will take a 14-7 lead over the Tampa Bay Storm in the first quarter.
I think there was a penalty assessed against the Terror for Kodo Cotton's antics after the score. That'll be applied on the kickoff as DeFelice for the extra point, and the snap is high. It bounces to DeFelice. He's looking to lob one up there, and instead of kicking it over the net for a souvenir, he throws it into the seats. Richard DeFelice in the role as a passer. Cole Casey, who is in camp with the Storm trying to earn a spot at quarterback, was the holder, and the snap came high. He bobbled it, and the kicker ended up with it, a la Garo Yepremian.
Well, I'll tell you this, as a passer, DeFelice is a pretty darn good kicker, because this is not a good thing. You see the snap gets bobbled right into the hands of DeFelice. He says, well, let me see if I can turn this into something. And right there, he just decides to get rid of it. Wisely throws it away. Otherwise, he would have been hammered. Gary Porter with the beautiful touchdown. Looks one way, throws another. Very nice catch by Kodo Cotton. And it gives the Texas Terror a 13-7 lead over the Tampa Bay Storm. 3 minutes and 56 seconds left to go here in the first quarter.
Porter threw for 4 touchdowns last week in the loss against Albany. 2 touchdown passes already this week as his team has moved in front. As we told you about how many points they score and how many they give up. You'll recall Texas was on the losing end of that record-setting performance by New Jersey. That kick off the top of the frame, and it's grabbed by Lawrence Samuels. He was Johnny on the spot there as Darrell Lane tackled him. That was a free ball as it came off the top of the frame, and had Texas recovered it, it would have been a touchdown. So Lawrence saving the day there on the touchback. But you might recall Texas was the team that lost 91-62 to the New Jersey Red Dogs a couple of weeks ago.
What an unbelievable score. And as you mentioned, Texas doing pretty well offensively. They're averaging 50.7 points a game. That's the good news. The bad news is they're giving up 58 points a game. Generous hosts.
And the Storm would love to puff up that average a little bit tonight. Willis throws, down went George LaFrance. He slipped on his cut, and the ball lands incomplete. George, who was limited by Orlando last week to only 2 catches. He'd been averaging 8 per game over about a 5 or 6 game span prior to that.
But George did do one thing against Orlando he hadn't done all year long, and that was run back a kickoff return for a touchdown. He said, man, I enjoyed that. Like to do it again.
LaFrance stops short at the line of scrimmage, and that draws some motion from the terror. Let's see how the officials see this on 2nd and 10 from the 5.
Offside, 73 on the defense, 3-yard penalty. Second down.
Harrison picks up the penalty, and my mistake, they had marked it at the 8 as they applied that 3-yard penalty from the touchdown against Texas. So it's now at the 11-yard line.
Credit that offsides, too, to Peter Tom Willis and the cadence he calls down there at the line of scrimmage.
LaFrance in motion. Willis looks for George, finds him on the turn-in pattern at the 22-yard line. He's met there by Tommy Oakes, the native of Orlando. And the Storm pick up the first down.
Yeah, the book on this Texas defense is that they'll kind of play you a little bit soft up close and give you those little 10, 12-yard passes like that. And PT and George LaFrance will take them all night long, because all that does is get you closer and closer to the end zone.
Willis with 3 completions tonight on 4 attempts, good for 70 yards. Willis looking deep for LaFrance. He's behind his man, and he can't hang on. Just off his fingertips, incomplete. He had a couple of steps on Martin and Billy Mitchell, one of the defensive specialists.
Very nearly a tremendous catch for George LaFrance. You can see from this angle here, good protection for Peter Tom Willis. And look at George LaFrance give that one everything. It hits right in the hands, and George just can't quite hang on. And P.T. Willis, you see his reaction. He thought, oh, man, I thought that was a touchdown, folks. They'll try it again, though.
2nd and 10 from the 22. Willis looks for George again, overthrows him off the boards and incomplete. And the Storm will be looking at 3rd and 10 now from their 22-yard line with 1:15 to go here in the first quarter. Texas leading 13-7.
PT just about had his pick of receivers that time. He had George LaFrance go out to the middle of the field and then cut back across. That's who he eventually aimed at. Overthrew him just a tad. But also on the same side, he had Lawrence Samuels, who has become a fine receiver and a new deep threat this year for the Storm, blazing on down the field.
Larry Kennedy, number 5, is on the field as well. One of the receivers at the disposal of P.T. Willis. And Willis, under a bit of pressure, gets it away. Samuels breaks the tackle, gets the first down, ducks inside on the tackle by Mitchell, stepped out of bounds inside the 10. Nice effort by Lawrence Samuels to make that grab. He knew he needed another yard or 2 to get the first down. He got that and plenty more.
Hey, he is one tough customer. Loves to catch this football. P.T. Willis lays it right out there to him. He hears the footsteps behind him, but Lawrence says, man, that's not a first down. I've got to get myself loose, spin around, and battle my way out here and get some more yardage. He does just that. It gives the Storm a first down inside the 10-yard line, puts Tampa Bay in position now to take the lead from the Texas Terror as the first quarter winds to a close.
The final play of that quarter, the 20-yard hookup from Willis to Samuels, putting the Tampa Bay Storm in scoring position. And trailing 13-7 after 1, will return with second quarter action here on Sunshine Network in just a moment. Early in for the touchdown on the 8-yard line. He's tied it up at 13.
Les Barley, what a job tonight here he does for the Storm, scores another touchdown. Les Barley doing very, very well this season. Earlier this year, he became the league's all-time leader in rushing touchdowns and in rushing yards. Tonight, he scores the second touchdown for the Storm. You know, Tim Markham, as we mentioned earlier, said he thought that the Storm might be able to run on this Texas team. And Rich Fall makes good on that kick. And that gives the Storm a 14-13 lead just into the second quarter.
scoring to put the Storm out in front on this 8-yard carry. Plenty of room to get the corner. Good blocking led by Michael Thornton and company. There's our look at our Coors Light scoring drive. 7 plays. And the 8-yard run culminates that drive with the score. And as Rich Ball kicks off to Bernard Holmes, we get a whistle. And it looks like we might do it again. Perhaps there was some confusion on the field as to whether we were actually starting or not.
Back to that touchdown, you have to give Michael Thornton a tremendous amount of credit there. He threw a key block just as Les Barley could have been run out of bounds. Michael Thornton gets a big shoulder into his opponent on the other side, wearing black, and opens a hole for Les Barley to run through. You know, coming into tonight's game, Les Barley needed 124 yards to be the first player in the Arena Football League ever to rush for 1,000 yards. I mean, think about that. This is a 50-yard field. How many yards do you have? How many attempts do you have to run and make to get 1,000 yards out here?
Yeah, hopefully he can reach that in the near future with still 4 games plus tonight's remaining on the regular season schedule. Here's Bernard Holmes with room to bring it out. Penalty markers down, though. Rich Ball forces him out of bounds near midfield. This team, an explosive scoring team, and one of the things they do best is return kicks. Bernard Holmes, Rodney Blackshear, Cotto Cotton among the best kick returners you'll find in the Arena Football League. The officials are huddling up back at the 10-yard line of Texas and discussing this yellow hanky that is on the turf.
Some thought that there might be a holding call here.
Both flags are for holding by the return team. Number 44 in this spot, 84 on field. The penalty will be administered half the distance to the goal from the 8-yard line.
Here's a good look at the hold right here coming up on the left side of your screen. Well, we just missed it as we're watching a fine run back by Mr. Holmes. He was picking him up and putting him down the sideline, trying to find some yardage for the Texas Terror. But a couple of holds back by Texas will bring the football back to the 4 and give the Storm a chance to lick their defensive chops.
Now the hold against Andy Chilcote, the one enforced. Porter with the quick drop and the throw in his land behind Cotton. He's belted by Sanders as they talk it over a little bit. And it will be 2nd and 10 from the 4-yard line, actually closer to the Terror 5.
The Storm defensive backfield really looking to put some pressure on these receivers from Texas here tonight. And you can see there Tracy Sanders not taking any guff from Cotto Cotton.
Circling back in motion is Edwin Howard. Porter looking for a picked off. Perkins has it at the 10, and he gallops in for the touchdown. He read the eyes of Gary Porter all the way, and he had his sights on that ball before Howard ever turned around. And the Storm now move in front 20-13.
That's what we talked about earlier in the evening. The Storm coming into this football game with only 7 interceptions, and the defensive secondary a little upset at themselves about that. So right there, Perkins just steps in front of the ball, makes the great play. He knows he's got a touchdown right after he caught the ball. He slowed down and just kind of marched his way on in there, said, look at what I got.
Well, they've lined up for the extra point. Rich Ball is ready. His tee is down to the 10, but P.T. Willis had to be summoned from the bench as the holder. Here's the kick by Ball, and it is good. And so the Storm rack up 21 points in a little over a quarter. They've scored twice here in the second quarter to lead by 8. As it's referred to here by the Terror, the Summit in Houston, Texas, 21-13, the Storm in front, 12:27 to go in an exciting first half. Rich Ball has been a busy man, and he is set to kick off once again. Bernard Holmes will take this kick if he can. And he waits for it to come off the soft net. And down he goes to the 4-yard line. He was hemmed in by first Perkins and then Antoine Worthman, number 23. And so once again, the Terror will start very deep in their own territory.
This doesn't look too good here. Willie Wyatt limping off, holding his right hamstring. And not very happy about it either. Jerking the straps off his helmet. Willie Wyatt headed for the bench right now. And he is indeed a key player for the Storm up front. A tremendous work ethic. We'll see how the Storm can do without Willie Wyatt.
Well, Gary Porter from the 7 on the blitz. Barley perhaps getting an early start. Here's the throw by Porter, and it's dropped by Rodney Blackshear, number 3. Tracy Sanders all over him. And flags down, and let's see if they picked up something on the blitz by Les Barley. The officials talk it over.
Encroachment, second neutral zone by the linebacker, 3-yard penalty, repeat first down.
That's exactly what happened. As a linebacker, there has to be daylight from the snap of the ball between the defensive line and the linebackers, and here he comes shooting into the gap, so he is called for the encroachment penalty there.
Kind of put some scare into old Porter there. Got him going, got his eyes looking to the right and running around back there. The Storm, 2 penalties for 6 yards so far tonight. Don't need any more of those.
Oh, Howard was set to run upfield before he caught the ball as he dropped that one. And it will be 2nd down and 7 for the Terror.
Yeah, nowhere to hide from that when that ball hit him right dead square in the hands, and he just flat dropped it as he was trying to turn around and head upfield. The Tampa Bay Storm enjoying a 21-13 lead here in the 2nd quarter. Tracy Perkins with his 6th interception of the season. Ran it back 11 yards for a touchdown.
Porter with a Bembry with the pressure. Here's the throw. Blackshear makes the grab. Wrestled down by Sanders, but he's at the Tampa Bay 15-yard line. A gain of 24 yards.
Man, it doesn't get too much closer than that. Sylvester Bembry well into the backfield. Watch him grab Porter just as he throws the football, wrestles him to the ground, but a beautifully thrown pass, and it's complete as his receiver comes to a sliding halt. Rodney Blackshear, there are his numbers. 15 catches, 127 yards, and a pair of touchdowns, and that'll boost his reception average length.
He's one of only 4 players back this year from last year's inaugural season. He takes the wide receiver screen, and he's tackled by Thornton inside the 10-yard line. Rodney Blackshear, who was the Terror's leading receiver last year, deferring to Holmes, as we have pointed out early on tonight, as he's become the new #1 man.
Blackshear with the nice catch out in the middle of the field, and Thornton has to make the grab from behind. Just gets hold of an ankle and drags him down. The initial stop with his shoulder. The Texas Terror have the 2nd highest scoring offense in the Arena Football League. They're scoring 50.7 points a game, and they're driving again.
Porter fires over the middle, and it is caught. Blackshear down, and they're going to mark him down at about the 1-yard line on the quick look-in pattern. The Storm mark it at the 1, despite what the PA announcer just told the crowd that it was a touchdown.
The Storm defense really trying to put some pressure on them up front, but this is an awfully quick game, and people can get open very, very quickly. That one happens, and Texas has the ball at about the 1.
And we'll get a timeout signaled for by Porter and the Terror. He'll come over to confer with Steve Thon, the offensive coordinator. He's worked previously with Milwaukee and the Connecticut Coyotes. On 1st and goal from the 1. With the Storm in front by the count of 21-13. Well, the Storm cheerleaders will be conducting a cheerleading clinic for all youngsters under 16. That leaves us out of Jerry. Saturday, July 19th at the Ice Palace. The $10 entry fee includes 2 general admission tickets to the game that night against the Iowa Barnstormers, complimentary lunch, and the chance to perform with the Storm cheerleaders during pregame. For more information, call the Storm office at 813-276-7300.
And to think I spent all day yesterday dusting off my pom-poms.
You brought him along on the trip?
Brought him on the trip.
Son of a gun. Well, this is just the start of action in the Arena Football League here in the holiday weekend. One other game that's underway, Milwaukee at Iowa. Good matchup there. And two other games on the schedule tonight, including the Florida Bobcats. And then tomorrow, of course, the big matchup between the Predators and the New Jersey Red Dogs. We'll have it for you here on Sunshine Network at 6:30. First and goal from the 1. Terror down by 8. 9:02 to go in the first half. The handoff to Chilcote, and he is stopped short of the goal line. Sylvester Bembry involved there, along with Les Barley. And he might have gained a half a yard, if that.
Have to be impressed with the Storm defense on the run here. That's a couple of times that they have managed to stop them for no gain when they're trying to run. And Chilcote's a big boy. Weighs a lot, 250 pounds. Takes a lot to stop that guy. There are his numbers, 23 carries, 33 yards, 3 touchdowns. Not a tremendous average, but they use him in those real short yardage down situations, just like this one.
And Porter will keep it here. He's caught by Stevie Thomas behind the line. Following up was Barley, and a loss of about a yard or so for the Terror, and it's going to bring up third down once again. The Tampa Bay Storm very stiff against the run.
It's one of the neat things about this game. It gives the guy a chance to play both offense and defense. Les Barley runs in for a touchdown. Now he comes out here and helps Stevie Thomas make a big play on Gary Porter. They stop this guy at the 1. Keeps him out of the end zone. And Texas in a bad spot here at third down.
I've got the Terror for 5 rushes for 1 yard so far tonight. Chilcote gets the ball, ducks in, and he scores. He dove across the goal line. It took him 3 cracks to get in.
Well, you keep trying hard enough, you're bound to get in one time or another, and that time the Storm had the front line covered up pretty well, but Chilcote manages to take himself on around the right side. Got a good block up front, a good push by his offensive line. Kofer standing his man up, opens up a hole, and Chilcote bangs it on in and pulls Texas within a pair. It's 21-19 Tampa Bay, and they're going to go for 2.
They're going to try to tie it up here. They like to look for Holmes on the 2-point conversion attempt, so Howard is the motion man. Here's the pass to Holmes. He was open, turned around too late, and could not take the pass. Porter was rushed a bit by Barley. The conversion attempt is no good, and the lead is 2 for the Storm. So the Terror got the play. They got the look they wanted. They could not convert, though, and Tampa Bay remains in front.
Oh, man.
You're watching the Florida Marlins. We've got a dandy here on our hands. The Marlins try to keep this thing 3-5. He struck him out! The Phillies take on the Marlins Friday at 7 on Sunshine.
Cool.
Tampa Bay Storm Arena Football on Sunshine Network is brought to you in part by Tampa General Healthcare. Now the Storm set to receive the kickoff from Richard DeFelice, and Earl Scott wearing number 52. I believe this is the first time he's taken the field for the Storm, joining the team just this week. And DeFelice, who proposed to his fiancée on TV last year, Jerry, and tough spot for his fiancée. She accepted, and LaFrance accepts the kick off the screen. Heads up the middle. He is met there by Mitchell Benson, 93, and Darrell Lane, 92. George bringing the ball out to the 8-yard line.
Well, you know, George leads the league in all-purpose yards, 1,639 coming into tonight's game. Again, a week ago, had a kickoff return against Orlando, 56 yards worth for a touchdown. There's a look at your scoring drive. Took them 7 plays, 23 yards. They eat up 5 minutes and 41 seconds on the clock, and Andy Chilcote dives in on the short run. And that penalty will move the Storm up to the 11-yard line.
Lane penetrated the 5-yard line before LaFrance touched the ball, and thus the 3-yard penalty. Here's a pitch to Jones. He dribbles it behind the 10-yard line and falls on it at the 9. Lane and Jerry Tarkowski, number 41, arrived on the scene.
That's not going to make Tim Markham very happy because you got to hold on to the football when it's given to you. Tony Jones, that's the second time tonight that he's had some trouble holding on to the football. That time it didn't cost anything except a down. They lose a yard. Brings up second and about 11 from just inside the 9.
Storm have, of course, Bowden dressed as a fullback. Cedric McKinnon is inactive for this game. Here's a passage by Grant Isbell, whizzing past his ear at the 18-yard line. And that will make it 3rd and 11 for Tampa Bay from the 10.
PT threw that one right on the mark. Grant Isbell had his hands up in the air, kind of like one of those tires a quarterback throws his balls through, you know, when he's out practicing. And Grant Isbell just couldn't quite drag it in there, and it'll be 3rd down for the Storm.
As you see, 5:15 remaining before halftime. We hope to hook up with the owner of the Tampa Bay Storm, Woody Kern, at halftime, so join us for that. Here is PT throwing to LaFrance. It's off his fingertips, incomplete, bringing up 4th down.
George LaFrance not very happy with himself again. Normally George catches a ball like that. You see him going across the middle there. And a pretty well thrown ball that would have been a spectacular catch. George got one hand on it, couldn't hold on. And it brings up 4th and 11. And Rich Fall will have a long kick in front of him.
57-yard attempt here. Rich 3 of 11 on the season, 0 for 4 from beyond 50 yards. And he's going to pooch this one down to the corner. Cotton takes it near the goal line. Has room to head up the middle and gain ahead of Steve, but he's tackled by Scott. Wilkie Bazille making the initial contact as Cotton brings it out to the 22 of Texas.
Earl Scott's first contact tonight, making his arena football debut. The first arena football game he ever saw was Monday at practice, and he looked at the films. A nice return by Kodo Cotton. He has 10 kickoff returns, 247 yards worth coming into this contest. One very dangerous kickoff return man.
And Jerry, we can get into this after this play about Rich Fall's condition as Porter firing, and he just miscommunicated with Cotton, who was on the fly pattern. Porter was looking for the out, but as you talked to head coach Tim Markham just before the game about Rich Fall, what did he tell you?
Well, I went downstairs. I asked him, as I normally do, how's everybody feeling? He said, well, everybody but Rich Fall's okay. He said Rich Fall has pulled his hamstring on his plant foot and did that during warm-ups in pregame. And he said he was pretty concerned about whether he was going to be able to plant that left foot and be able to kick, because that really stretches that left hamstring an awful lot. And there we may have seen what happened, that Rich Fall can't really kick it that far tonight.
And that's why he would have pooched it in that situation on a 57-yard field goal attempt. Tracy Perkins nearly came up with his second pick as he stepped in front of Lloyd Hill and nearly grabbed it. Of course, he has scored on an 11-yard interception return tonight to help the Storm to a 21-19 lead.
Yeah, that could have gone either way. Tracy Sanders was out there too, but Tracy Perkins up in the air, bounced off his shoulder pad and lands incomplete. But it brings up 3rd down for the Texas Terror, 3rd and 10, and we'll see if the Storm defense can put the stop on them.
They're unable to this point to take advantage of excellent field position on the kickoff for the field goal return by Cotton. Barley came across the line and made contact with the Terror offensive line, and that brings about a little confab among 4 of the officials as to who moved first.
False start on the offense, number 73, 3-yard penalty.
Michael Harrison whistled for the penalty, so that'll back it up to the 19-yard line and create a 3rd and 13 situation for the Texas Terror with 2.5 minutes before halftime. Gary Porter, as Jerry mentioned in the open, the 3rd quarterback to play this season for the Terror, and Texas will use their final timeout here in this first half.
Tampa Bay doing pretty well in the cemetery here at the Summit in Houston, Texas, leading this ball game 21-19 with 2:21 to go in the first half. Willie Wyatt got his helmet back on, standing down there. He says, I'm going to be coming back in this football game. They're talking to P.T. Willis, and P.T. shaking his head. Peter Tom Willis asked him how those ribs were, and he said, honestly, they're just about the same. Cracked ribs take a long time to heal, awfully painful. I said, how you doing with that? He said, you know, I believe I'm just getting used to it.
Wow. And that's something you really want to get used to if you don't have to. He said earlier this week they're fractured, not splintered or broken, so there really isn't a danger of a punctured lung that you might think from broken ribs initially. Just a reminder that you can tune in tomorrow, the Sunshine Network, for more great arena football action as the Orlando Predators take on the New Jersey Red Dogs. Game time is set for 6:30, and you can see the action live right here on Sunshine Network.
Coming up here at halftime, we're going to have a conversation, I do believe, with Tampa Bay Storm owner Woody Kern here in his home state of Texas. We'll talk about the first half highlights and, of course, bring you the statistics.
So, 3rd and 13 here from the Texas 19. And here comes Barley across to lay a hand on the shoulder of Michael Harrison once again.
All kinds of flags down on the field as they'll kind of have to sort this one out. Didn't even get any time off the clock on that play.
False start, 73 on the offense.
Barley must be a master at detecting that, because Jerry, you'll recall in the last get-together we had at the Ice Palace with the New York City Hawks, they took 9 illegal procedure penalties, and he came across to make contact on most of them to bring about the flags.
Something the Storm does very well, cause the other team to make plenty of mistakes, and Tampa Bay always able to capitalize on those in one way or another.
And now Barley again. Texas has been hit with 7 penalties for 22 yards. Most of them procedure calls.
This one's going to be on him again.
46 on the defense, 3-yard penalty.
And all the indications were that was going to be on Texas, but this time Les Barley. Yeah. Comes on across the line.
Michael Harrison rocking back just a little bit, and Barley feeling that that constituted enough motion to come across, and that was not detected by the officials. So it's 3rd and 13. Here's Porter hurling it downfield, and it's grabbed by Tracy Sanders. He falls out of bounds at the 5-yard line. Sanders with the interception. Porter let that go in desperation, and he probably should have thrown it into the stands. And I think that's what might be Dave Ewart's comment to him as he heads for the bench.
Les Barley comes limping off the field here, holding his right hamstring there. Les Barley, as we've just been talking about him quite a bit here in the last few minutes, causing the other folks to jump just before the ball gets snapped, rocking back and forth. And Les Barley putting some good pressure on Gary Porter, actually crawling on the turf trying to get to him. And then the interception by the Storm, their 2nd pick of the night.
PT finds George LaFrance trying to slip a tackle, taken down by Lloyd Hill, but he crosses the 15-yard line, and that'll be a first down for the Storm. Not good news as far as Barley was concerned. He's being attended to by trainer John Calta on the bench. More injuries is not what this team needs. They've already got Lynn Rowland out with that broken bone in his leg. He's hoping to come back next week against Anaheim. Terry Buford has had some knee problems. He's been playing with knee problems, but they've been compounded. He is not here. Same for Wayne Williams. He's had a knee problem. Walter Sutton, Damasio Green, hamstring injuries. Here's a pass to Lawrence Samuels. At midfield, he is taken head first into the boards by Hill as he tried to hustle for an extra yard and get away from a tackle. It'll be 2nd down and 2 on the gain of 8.
The Storm really would like to take some more momentum into halftime here.
1 minute timing rules are now in effect.
And the official gives us 1 minute left to go in the game. Oh, that was a vicious drive into the wall over there. And those pads aren't nearly as soft as they might look. Lawrence Samuels takes one head first and comes out of there just fine. That's the kind of thing that can be dangerous. Les Farley, a big stout fellow, though, rocking out to some kind of music tonight on the bus on the way over here. He was pretty fired up to play this football game.
We just got out of his way. Second and 2. Willis with time. Lofts it up there for Samuels. He overthrows him. And it will be 3rd and 2 with 55 and 1/10 to go in the half. And the Storm leading by 2 points.
Lawrence Samuels has, as we mentioned earlier, become a deep threat for the Storm. At that time, PP just a little too much mustard on the football, overthrows him a little bit. And Lawrence Samuels may have been held up just a little bit on his way toward the end zone as well. Something interesting about the end zones here in the cemetery, the summit, they're kind of rounded off on the outside. Makes them a little shorter. An obvious advantage for the defense.
LaFrance in motion. Here's the short pass to Larry Kennedy. Hauls it in. Crosses the 15 of Texas. Reaches the 13. Plenty of yards for the first down as he picks up 13 yards on the play. Larry's 3rd catch of the season.
Larry Kennedy, a real tough guy out there. Likes to play defense, but his strong suit is hauling in the football. Look at that. Nice catch. Drives himself up toward the end zone. Larry Kennedy made a beautiful catch in the first game that he played, I believe, up in Albany. Caused the fumble, turned right around, and made a great catch. Makes another one here tonight.
Clock running, 30 seconds now. Willis throws, and Kennedy cannot haul that one in. Billy Mitchell right there in the coverage, and the clock will stop with the incomplete pass inside the final minute of the first half. 27.7 seconds to go. And PT checking that situation out as he talks with Coach Markham. Ball of the 14. And the Storm trying to add to their lead here in the closing moments of the half. I've got PT 7 for 14, 123 yards unofficially here in this first half. He rolls out, has plenty of time, picks out the receiver. It's George LaFrance. He gets to the 7, taken down, not out of bounds though. The clock runs, and now the Storm will use a timeout with 19.7 remaining.
A real nice catch there by George LaFrance, but a tremendous block by Tony Jones gave Peter Tom Willis about 3 extra seconds. You see the block there. Tony Jones on the left side drives his man down. Sylvester Bembry pushes his man out of the way, opens up the field so PT gets a real good look at George LaFrance zipping across the field down there, and LaFrance makes the grab, and with 19.7 seconds left here in the first half of play, the Storm will have a first down at about the 7-yard line or so.
The brand that has been providing a rightful mission to the world athlete for more than 80 years. That's Wilson. The right equipment makes the difference. Wilson products are available in post office and sporting goods stores.
My mistake, it's 3rd and 3. Can't see that far tonight. I've been reading all day. My eyes are a little blurry. I see the I see the ground. The line marker across the field there. Yeah, 3rd and 3.
Life was tough in first class.
It was.
Wasn't it, Jerry?
It doesn't happen to me very often. They were very nice to me today.
Must be that disguise you're wearing. Here's a pitch to Tony Jones. He's felt it by Cotto Cotton. Picked up a couple of yards, but he's going to be short by about a yard of the first down. Cotto Cotton, not one of the bigger members of the Terror at 190, taking on 245-pound Tony Jones with a pretty solid hit.
Yeah, Tony Jones doesn't come down very easily right here. He takes the pitch. He's thinking end zone all the way, looking for one block. And Cotto Cotton hits him high, too. And Tony Jones falls down at the 5-yard line, short of a first down by about a yard. That'll bring up 4th and 1. 10 seconds left on the clock. The Storm up 21-19. And Peter Tom Willis, Tim Markham talk it over, and the Storm will go for a touchdown here.
PT makes his call in the huddle. You see the time remaining. Willis has Kennedy, LaFrance, Samuels as receivers. The fullback is Jones. LaFrance circles back in motion on this 4th and 1 from the 5. PT rolling out, throwing back across for Kennedy, bobbles it, and he can't hang on. Incomplete. The pass traveled over the head of Billy Mitchell, who reached up and perhaps broke the concentration of young Larry Kennedy, who could not hang on in the end zone. It will be first down for Texas, but only 4.5 seconds to go in the half.
If ifs and buts were candy and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. But if P.T. Willis had dropped back there and thrown the football about 2 seconds sooner, Larry Kennedy was standing still practically in the corner of the end zone and may have had better concentration, a better chance to catch the ball. But by the time P.T. got out there and let loose of the thing, there was a defender over there, and it broke the concentration of Larry Kennedy. And that shows his inexperience in this league. It cost the Storm a touchdown with 4 seconds left on the clock.
Here's the pass to Cotton on the short attempt, and he's taken down, unable to get out of bounds as he was brought down by Woods over there, and that's going to do it for the first half of play. Tim Markham up by 2, but I'm sure he had visions of a larger lead on that Storm drive that nearly closed out the half. Dave Ewart's club on a 4-game losing streak. He's going to feel like he's right there, trailing 21-19 at the end of the first half of play. We'll be back with our halftime activities, including a conversation with Storm owner Woody Kern in just a moment.
In case you haven't noticed, the Tampa Tribune has a brand new look with larger, easier to read type, more color and great photography, and quick summaries at the beginning of every article, all making it really easy to keep informed and entertained on a daily basis. And now when you subscribe for a year, you get the Gusto card, which saves you 25% at more than 100 Bay Area restaurants. It's an offer that helps you make the most of your money on the paper that helps you make the most of your time. And we know how busy you are. The Tampa Tribune. Get something out of it every day.
Tampa General Healthcare, the hospital you own. And your TGH covers everything from birthing to general medical care, plus services like level 1 trauma, the cardiac institute, the family suites, and the children's medical center. And TGH has 145 of the top 183 doctors in Southeast. So when you need us, we're with you. Provided.
I'm Tampa Bay Storm head coach Tim Markham.
And I'm Storm quarterback Peter Tom Willis.
Please join both of us for the first ever Tampa Bay Storm Charity Golf Classic, Monday, July 28th at 9 a.m.
The tournament will be held at beautiful Bloomingdale Golfers Club with part of the proceeds benefiting the Tampa Marine Institute and the American Red Cross Tampa.
Individual group packages and home sponsorships are available for this worthy cause.
And if you happen to be in my foursome, I will personally guarantee a win over Coach's team.
No.
Oh, yes.
I'm Forrest, and this is Bubba, and we're salesmen here at First Choice Motors. Hi, Forrest. Hi, Bubba. Tell the people what kind of cars we have. We got Mitsubishi cars. We got Ford cars, Honda cars, pickup truck cars. Mama always said buying a car is like a box of chocolate, and you don't know what you're going to get. Now, here's First Choice Motors. If you don't buy here, you're just real stupid. Stupid is what stupid does.
Summit in Houston, Texas, where the Tampa Bay Storm enjoy a 21-19 lead here over the Texas Terror in the Cemetery. The Storm with a good first half, and they end this thing 21-19 here at halftime. I'm Jerry Johnson along with Rick Peckham, and joining us here at halftime is the owner of the Tampa Bay Storm, Woody Kern. Woody, what do you think of the first half here in your home state so far?
Well, I think it's just a little bit too close. I think we played a little too close that first half. There's a couple plays we could have made, separated this thing a little bit.
What do you think of this football team? They've struggled just a little bit, and that's the first time in the history of this franchise that they have ever come into a season and sort of had a hard time. You're used to having a winning team all the time.
Well, I think it's evident right now we are struggling a little bit, but we're 4-5. We hope to come out of here 5-5. We have made some changes. We're going to get 22 guys who want to play football down there, and we're not out of this thing yet.
Absolutely not. If anybody can turn this team around and get them on the right track, it's definitely got to be Tim Markham. I mean, you picked a good one when you got this guy.
Timmy's had a rough year, okay? And all of us have had a rough year. You're right. We're not used to doing this. Our goal is to get into the playoffs, win 3 games, and we can be back where we were last year.
A lot of the fans back home know that you are a sports nut, if you will. You've owned some baseball teams. You own the Tampa Bay Storm. What got you interested in being the owner of sports franchises?
Long time ago, I played a little high school baseball and football, a little college football. And when I just looked at the opportunities that were out there, they seemed like fun things to do. So I've got a minor league baseball team. And I especially enjoy the Storm. I've had a ball in arena football and continue to have it for a number of years.
What about the future of this ball club? The Tampa Bay Storm enjoying tremendous success in Tampa Bay. The Ice Palace, the move over there this year, the fan base has still been very supportive. Are you enjoying the same success that we've had here in the past?
Yeah, I mean, we've enjoyed our move over to the Ice Palace. We love the Dome. Ice Palace is good. I will tell you this, we still have some empty chairs over there when we play at home, so folks who want to come down and see us make a stretch run here, I would certainly invite them to do that. We're going to play some good football down those stretch there.
All right, Woody Kern, owner of the Tampa Bay Storm, joining us here at halftime in Houston, Texas at the Summit, where the Tampa Bay Storm, Woody Kern's Tampa Bay Storm, has the lead over the Texas Terror, and a good one, 21-19, and we'll be back with highlights and statistics right after this.
Go ahead, let it rain. You've used Duxback, clear multi-surface waterproofer. Left untreated, rain and moisture can strip wood of its natural beauty. But a one-coat application of Duxback penetrates and seals to protect wood from warping and the ugly buildup of mold and mildew. Right now, get 25% more Duxback absolutely free when you buy the new bonus size. For long-lasting protection against the elements, nothing sheds water like Duxback. Available now at all Builder Square locations.
Serving you a smorgasbord of sports every Sunday morning. Whatever you're hungry for, breakfast with the Gators is always a treat. Wake up to college football, Sunday at 9 on Sunshine.
Rico and the Phillies think the Marlins are the chicken of the sea. But Lou in Florida say, sorry, Charlie. The Phillies fight the Marlins Friday night at 7 on Sunshine.
Ooh.
Welcome back to the Summit in Houston, Texas here on the 4th of July weekend. We hope you're enjoying your holiday weekend and glad you're spending a portion of it with us here on Sunshine Network tonight. Rick Peckham, Jerry Johnson back with you. The Storm up by a couple as we look at highlights, and those highlights got underway very quickly tonight, Jerry.
Sure did. The very first play of the game offensively for the Tampa Bay Storm, Peter Tom Willis with some great protection, and he unloads a 44-yard strike to Grantis Bell. There's the protection, and here's the beautiful grab by Grantis Bell, and he rumbles on into the end zone, and it gives the Storm a 7-0 first quarter lead on the first play of the game.
Well, the Terror came back to score twice, and then on the first play of the second, the Storm went to work.
Yes, first play of the second quarter, it's Les Barley. Gets a key block right there and rumbles on in for a touchdown, gives the Storm a 14-13 lead early in the second quarter.
And on the following possession by Texas, the defense stepped it up for Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay's defense picks off one right here. It's Tracy Perkins in 11 yards for the touchdown. 21-13 Tampa Bay in the second quarter on the interception return.
Porter's done a good job in an emergency situation, but Jerry, his inexperience showed on this play.
Sure enough, Tracy Sanders this time going deep has to come back and make the interception as Porter can't throw it far enough, and that stops the Terror drive and gives the Storm the football, and Tampa Bay right now at halftime leads 21-19 here at the Cemetery in Houston.
Well, our first half highlights are brought to you by First of America. And we'll be back with more from the Summit in Houston. Our score 21-19, the Storm over the Terror. Well, the teams will be out in just a few moments to get ready for the start of the second half here in Texas. We're in Houston at the Summit tonight on this holiday weekend as the Storm have the lead 21-19 over the Terror. Let's have a look at our first half statistics of this ball game, brought to you by Seminole Indian Casino.
Well, you can see the comparison in first downs. The Terror with 7, the Storm with 6, but the Storm winning the battle of total yards. 129 yards passing, 139 total yards. The Storm 1 turnover, it was a fumble, and the Terror with 2 turnovers, both interceptions by the Storm secondary.
Boy, the Storm, look at those stats, and Jerry, they got to feel pretty good about what their defense has done. The turnovers, 3 yards rushing for Texas, and yet they were not able to execute, particularly on that last drive when they needed to build a little cushion going into the second half.
Yeah, the Storm has to be a little upset with themselves, especially offensively. Young Larry Kennedy comes in, makes a great impression in Albany and down here tonight, making a great grab, but goes out there and drops what should have been most certainly a touchdown pass there in the end zone. And the Storm instead walks away without that touchdown and that cushion that we're talking about.
Well, a team like Texas can be dangerous. They can certainly score, and the Storm obviously have been prepared to stop that. We'll see what develops in the second half here in Houston when we come back.
The Tiger Shark feeding frenzy is going on now. It's your only chance to get a high-performance, high-powered Tiger Shark watercraft at a great deal. But time's running out. So hurry and get a Tiger Shark with 0 down and payments as low as $97 a month before they're all gone. Tiger Shark. Get hooked. For a free video and the dealer nearest you, call 1-800-5T-SHARK.
They're the kings of the beach. Pro volleyball heads north with the Miller Lite AVP Championships of New England. For all the slamming, jamming, rocking, rolling, you've got it right here. Sunday at 4 on Sunshine.
smorgasbord of sports every Sunday morning. Whatever you're hungry for, breakfast with the Gators is always a treat. Wake up to college football, Sunday at 9 on Sunshine.
Welcome back. We've got Coach Tim Markham of the Storm down on the field joining us. Coach, thanks for coming on, and give us your impressions of this first half.
Well, except for the turnovers and the missed ball at the end, I mean, we should have total control of this game. As it is, we're in for a dogfight here. So, the thing that we have to do is, first of all, cover this kickoff here, play a good series of defense, and score every time we have the ball. We're capable of doing that. We just make plays offensively and defensively. We're getting good pressure with the guy on the guy, and he's thrown us a couple of balls, so we just got to keep up that pressure.
Coach, real quickly, the condition of Willie Wyatt and Les Barley, how are they doing?
Willie Wyatt is going to be out except for the long snaps. He's done. He's got a hamstring pull. Les Barley also has a hamstring pull, but he should be able to play.
All right, Coach, thank you for joining us. Good luck in the second half. Tim Markham gives us some not very good news there. Willie Wyatt pulled a hamstring in the first half. Will be in on long snaps, as Coach just told us, and Les Barley also having some hamstring trouble. Seems to be a contagious thing here at the Summit in Houston. Before the game even started, Rich Fall pulled a hamstring in his left leg. That's the leg that he plants with, and has been unable to kick it very far so far tonight.
Well, Sylvester Bembry and the Storm have their supporters on hand. We saw a couple of gentlemen. Actually, we bumped into them checking into the hotel yesterday, and great to have them with us. Also, Joe Lohr, a longtime Storm fan, is sitting over on our side of the field. He's come down from the Surge Booster Club. And the team got a nice send-off at the airport yesterday, and we expect a nice welcoming party when they return tomorrow. Great support in the Bay Area, a topic I'm sure you've covered with Woody at the half. That support is there for the Storm, and with good reason. Here's Rich Fall to kick off. Cotton bobbles it. He's got it. And a little room. He's hemmed in and tackled by Bowden. Let's see if they're going to rule this a safety, or they will mark his forward progress at about the 1-yard line. Andre Bowden making his presence felt and is returned to the Storm lineup.
Sure enough, Andre Bowden has been playing in the World League of American Football for the Frankfurt Galaxy. Had 28 tackles and a sack while playing with them. You can see he gets Cotton and does not let go, drags him all the way back to the end zone and claps him down in there, but they'll bring it out to the 1-yard line and give Texas a start here in the third.
Porter's first half numbers, 2 TDs, but 2 interceptions, and he's carried a bit there. He's able to connect with Bernard Holmes at the 9-yard line. The coverage provided by Tracy Perkins as they pick up about 8. It'll be 2nd and 2.
Perk was almost there again, almost had himself another interception as he flattens his man over there, and just about there. Look at Bowden with the pressure right there. Comes down on Gary Porter, forces him to roll back to his right and throw the football completely the other side of the field, not where he wanted to go, and certainly a lot shorter than he had in mind. Brings up 2nd down for Texas.
Bowden, Farley on that line with Bembry. Here's a completion to Hill for the first down. He's wrestled down to the turf by Worthman and hit plenty of his friends, including Tracy Sanders. And even a hustling Andre Bowden got into the act. Joining the play from the line of scrimmage, they bring it out to the 18-yard line with the pickup of 9.
And you know the Storm defense is thinking turnover here, because as he catches the football, watch Stevie Thomas, number 20, come in, and Stevie's job is just to reach in there and try to grab the football away from him. Unsuccessful in doing it, but you know that's what the Storm is thinking about doing, trying to take the football away from these guys. Here comes Stevie. Look at him, hitting his arm, reaching for it, can't get it.
Porter under pressure, throws, and it's dropped. As Lloyd Hill was open coming across the middle, covered by Worthman. He couldn't hang on, and Porter, lucky to escape with his life, nearly hit the lottery with that play had it been a completion, as Tony Jones helped to lead the charge in the blitz here with Farley coming in.
The Storm defense has provided some awfully good pressure up front tonight, and so far the secondary has chimed in with some very tight coverage out in the flats area. Something I'm sure Tim Markham had a nice long talk with them about in the locker room, as they've got a couple of their key players playing hurt right now. Les Barley out there.
Is a tight coverage from the line of scrimmage. The completion to Cotto Cotton. He's taken down by Perkins. A flag thrown as Cotton crosses midfield to the Tampa Bay 24. He'll be a couple of yards short of the first down, pending the outcome of this penalty call.
Going on the defense, 3-yard penalty. First down.
Grasping the face mask, the call. And that will give the first down to the Terror. They'll mark it down to the Tampa Bay 21.
We'll see here if it was an inadvertent face mask. Well, he looked like he was trying to wrap his arms around this guy and got as far as his face mask. Now, and Porter sees it right away. He says, hey, face mask there. Give me a penalty. And they get it.
Porter straight back under pressure. The middle screen to Tarkowski. Jason Tarkowski spins off a tackle and dives for the 10-yard line before Jones finally put the clamps on him. Nicely executed middle screen by the Terror, and they pick up 11 yards.
The Terror offense giving Porter some good time there, and the Storm had not been covering Tarkowski too much tonight. Well, this is the first time they've really seen him do anything in this football game. 6 foot, 240 pounds out of Wisconsin lacrosse, and that time he gets the Storm and gets his Terror team all the way down to the 10.
Porter 4 of 5 on this drive. Here's a pitch to Tarkowski. Cuts inside and dives to the 5, where he's met by Worthman. So he picks up about 5 yards on the first and goal play.
Well, they seem to like this guy all of a sudden here. They're thinking, well, maybe the Storm hasn't figured out how to stop him yet. We'll just go to him a couple more times. This time they do it on the run. He's a big guy, kind of hard to bring down. Tracy Perkins hits him low and trips him up just inside the 5-yard line. And the Terror knocking on the door here with 10 minutes and some seconds left to go in the third quarter.
Porter starts. Bernard Holmes in motion. Holmes and incomplete. A leaping Stevie Thomas from his linebacker position. Thought he had a crack at that one. Hands out of his reach as well.
Yeah, hands from 3 different players up in the air on that one. Stevie Thomas, the first one. We'll see it from this perspective right here. Watch Stevie right in the middle. Oh, he's up, thinks he's got himself an interception. And flying through the end zone was Tracy Perkins, also looking for another pick. Yeah, but it falls incomplete. That'll bring up second down here inside the 5. Gary Porter's numbers tonight, a pair of touchdowns, but 2 interceptions.
He's thrown for 37 yards on this drive. Holmes in motion. Porter looking. Picked off. Thomas right there. And he'll bring it back right up the middle. Stevie Thomas brings it inside the 10 down to the 7-yard line. Boy, he thought he came close on that previous play, and he thought they might be looking over the middle again, and there he was with the big play that Tim Markham and the Storm have been looking for.
Tampa Bay's 3rd interception of the night. That's a huge thing because they come into this football game with only 7 interceptions all year long. Tonight, they pick Porter for the 3rd time. Stevie Thomas reads it beautifully right there, picks it off at about the 2-yard line, and Stevie's off to the races. Makes a cut there, sees a couple of defenders in his way. Stevie makes it all the way down to the 7.5-yard line and puts the Storm in great field position.
First and goal from the 7. He brought that back 42 yards. Now Willis drops the snap from the newest member of the team, Earl Scott, number 52, and they'll take a 2-yard loss.
Has to be some good chemistry built here for this football team. You know, there are 11 new players on this football team. By new, I mean they weren't here a year ago. Of the 24 rostered players, 11 new faces. And so this team's still looking for the chemistry it needs. And, of course, Earl Scott playing his first arena football game tonight.
LaFrance in motion. BT finds the Cott, throwing it across, and it's tipped into the seats by Cotto Cotton on the pass intended for Antoine Worthman in the end zone. That ball traveled a long way, and Cotton was able to make a play on the ball. And it will be 3rd down and goal now from the 9.
P.T. Willis gets out there, rolls to his right. Takes an awful long time to get rid of that football. His receiver's pretty well covered on this one, and he throws it real high. And really nobody has a chance to get that, and Cotton makes a good defensive play to get a mitt on it, knock it out of the way.
Andre Bowden in now at fullback. Willis fires over the ball. Out of the hands of Stevie Thomas by Cotto Cotton, reaching over the back. A pretty good two-way performer, just a youngster who, by the way, grew up with Earl Scott, one of the new members of the Storm. They've been playing together against each other since the age of 6, and they are anxious to get together on this night in Texas.
Stevie Thomas trying to catch the football, and Cotton just drags his arm down, forcing Tampa Bay to try to kick a field goal. We'll see if Rich Fall can get it done.
25-yard attempt by Fall, despite the pulled hamstring on that plant leg, and the kick is good by Rich Fall, and that ups the lead to 24-19. Fall 1 of 2 so far tonight.
Out in the wild, wild west coast of Florida, there's a truck as tough as its name. The Isuzu Hombre. And at a price of just $99.98, it's sure to rattle the competition.
Listen, 10,000 snappers. Time to get out of Dodge.
Less than $10,000 for a hot new pickup with ice-cold air. So don't get saddled with a high-priced ride. Head to your local 5-star Isuzu dealer today. The Isuzu Hombre, one tough brand.
Harley-Davidson of Tampa, 7202 East Hillsborough Avenue.
Now the Storm, scoring first in the second half, now have the 5-point lead at 24-19. Rich Fall will kick it off. You see 7:33 remaining in this third quarter. Most of that time taken up on the impressive Texas drive that ended tragically for the Terror, as Stevie Thomas with a big interception and a 42-yard return the touchdown or the field goal for the Storm. And the touchback indicated here is Michael Thornton getting down in good shape to make the tackle on Rodney Blackshear in the end zone. The Storm will hold their first ever charity golf classic Monday, July 28th at 9 a.m. The outing will be held at Bloomingdale Golfers Club. Sign up for your chance to play with Coach Markham, quarterback P.T. Willis, and other Storm players. The Charity Golf Classic will benefit the Tampa Marine Institute and the American Red Cross of Tampa. For information, call the Storm office at 813-276-7300.
You forgot to say you could get a chance to play with Rick Peckham. See how well he played.
I don't want anybody to know. Protecting my handicap. Here's Porter throwing. And Sanders trying to close off Blackshear. Right with him, stride for stride. Very effective coverage by Tracy Sanders.
Tracy Sanders all over his man down there. In fact, you could almost argue that both of them were battling for the football in that one. That's why there was no pass interference called. If you're wondering about everybody having their hands all over everybody else, Porter forced out of the pocket, throws a nice high pass. That gives everybody a chance to get themselves in position. And really, it was Blackshear who had to defend on that one, fearing an interception by Tracy Sanders.
Now the Terror overload the left side. Now they start Edwin Howard in motion. With a 5-step drop, he finds Holmes by himself near the sidelines, and he's forced out of bounds at the 20 by Worthman, as they pick up 15 yards on the play of first down for Texas.
Haven't heard a whole lot from Bernard Holmes tonight, and he's normally the man for this football team. Tells you what a good job the Tampa Bay Storm defense is doing, protecting and getting all over him, but he's wide open there at about the 12-yard line. He first encounters Antoine Worthman and is forced out of bounds. Holmes tonight just a couple of catches for 22 yards.
Porter fires, and he connects with Howard, the big 6'4", 210-pounder. It's going to take more than one to bring him down. That ball came loose, and apparently it's recovered by the Terror at the Storm 23-yard line as they pick up 7 yards.
Do believe that ball had a little help coming loose. The Storm defensive backs really working on stripping the football. He makes the catch there, and you can see Tracy Perkins trying to get in and get a hand on it. He gets some help here. Lawrence Samuels comes around. Now it's Perkins who's just trying to rip the football out of his hand. Is successful finally, but Texas recovers the football.
Here's Holmes circling back in motion. Looking for Holmes. He's found. Perkins throws and can't bring him down. Samuels rides him hard into the boards, but at the 2-yard line, a huge gain for Texas of 21 yards, and it sets up a 1st and goal.
Tracy Perkins playing extremely well all night long, but that time Bernard Holmes just gave him a little look and ran right around Tracy Perkins, but he ends up paying for it. Look at the nice block there on Tony Jones. That's what lets Gary Porter get rid of the football. And on the receiving end, the nice catch by Bernard Holmes. And here comes the move right there. Just flips around Perkins. And look at the lick into the wall. Holmes definitely felt that one, but it puts the Terror at the 2.
Well, the Terror trying to punch it in here. Porter looking for room, muscles it in as Worthman could not stop him. Howard was already engaging Antoine Worthman, and Porter on the 1-yard run scores. And he gives the Terror the lead at 25-24.
Gary Porter, a big, tough guy out there, a lot of muscles, likes to run the football himself when he gets a chance. You can see here, he gets a couple of blocks, runs around the left side, runs right behind his big man. Number 84, that's Edwin Howard, helps him on in. And Texas takes the lead.
And the kick is no good off the upright. In hockey, we'd say he hit the post. And that is not music to the ears of Richard DeFelice as it keeps the Terror up by just a point late in the 3rd.
Malibu Grand Prix.
Summer is sizzling, and so is the action at Malibu Grand Prix. We've got your ticket to serious summer fun, and it's racing your way at the best prices we've ever offered. So come on out and join the party. Save on everything at Malibu with our Super Fun Pass. Purchase it and receive an additional $50 in savings. Malibu Grand Prix, Nebraska, between Fletcher and Bears Avenue.
Malibu Grand Prix.
Uh-oh. Looks like another food bar's here.
Oh, we don't have to worry. He's from Beef O'Brady's.
Beef O'Brady's. They sell more than 20 tons of chicken wings a week. Head for the heel.
Watch the big game on our big screen and enjoy a Super Bowl of Beef O'Brady's tasty chicken wings.
Hey, watch this.
Hey, we have good burgers too, you know. Burgers.
Texas in front now by a point with 3:23 to go in the 3rd.
And here's a good look at the touchdown. Gary Porter gets a nice block by Edwin Howard. Antoine Worthman just can't drag him down, and Gary Porter gets himself a touchdown. Took 5 plays, 45 yards, 4 minutes and 10 seconds eaten up on the clock. And Gary Porter gets himself a touchdown on a 2-yard run.
DeFelice to kick off. High off the screen. Samuels couldn't get it, and Worthman diving to make sure it at least went out of bounds. He covered it at the 3. Those are dicey plays high off the screen because that is a free ball.
That one took a pretty mean bounce, too. Down here spinning end over end. That's a football that's hard to catch.
Tampa Bay Storm Arena football is brought to you by First Choice Motors.
There are the numbers on P.T. Willis. He's 8 of 18, 129 yards and a touchdown so far tonight. Struggling just a bit, looking for another one.
And he's got LaFrance at the 10. George looking for running room. And he's taken down to the 18-yard line. Demetrius Martin and company put a stop to LaFrance's progress there, but they pick up 15 yards on the completion.
Tampa Bay averaging only 32 points per game, almost 33 points per game. That ranks them 13th in the league. This is a team used to scoring at least 50 points a game.
Brandis Bell, who scored on the first play from scrimmage in this game. Here's the tight end screen to Tony Woods. Gang tackled at the line of scrimmage, protecting that ball. He hung on to it, but he was unable to get any room against Edwin Howard. Darrell Lane and company over there.
Yeah, Tony Woods, a great big guy out of Oklahoma. He's 6'4", 280 pounds, and he can pack away some pizza, folks. Let me tell you. Tony Woods makes the catch, some pretty good hands, but he just can't get anywhere on that play.
Did he steal a couple slices from you, or?
I had a whole plate full. I turn around and it's gone.
You sure it was Tony, though?
Well, it
wasn't me. P.T. fires, and it's grabbed by LaFrance, and he's very close to the first down. Howard making the stop. We started to say before the last play, Brandis Bell had returned to action. And he had that explosive touchdown on the game's first play, and he's on the field right now. It's going to be 2nd and 1 in the 9-yard pickup.
Peter Tom Willis over talking to Tim Markham about their strategy here as time ticking away in the third. A minute 10 left now. The Storm trail by a point, 25-24, but they're on the move at midfield.
Bell in motion. Here's a handoff to Andre Bowden, and unable to get started because of the penetration in that backfield by wide receiver linebacker Edwin Howard, number 84.
Andre Bowden, when he was with the Storm before for 3 years in 1991, 92, 93, had 552 yards rushing and 26 touchdowns for this team. A very effective running back when he gets the opportunity.
And it's 4th and 1. Barley has re-entered the game for Bowden.
Storm going for it on 4th down here.
Les gets the call, dives ahead and gets the first down at the 21-yard line. Rodney Gober, number 50, along with Lane and Harrison in on the tackle, but they'll move the sticks.
Les Barley with some nice help from his friends, the big boys up front, Wilkie Bazile, Sylvester Bembry, and the third quarter comes to a close with Tampa Bay trailing the Texas Terror by a point, 25-24.
Stay with us. An action-packed fourth quarter is just around the corner.
Video! Video! Video!
Rico and the Phillies think the Marlins are the chicken of the sea. But Lou and Florida say, sorry, Charlie. The Phillies fight the Marlins Friday night at 7 on Sunshine.
Woo.
play your game on Sunshine.
Welcome back to the Summit in Houston, Texas. Rick Peckham along with Jerry Johnson, our producer-director Bill Moore, associate producer Tom Barberi, bringing you tonight's game. Here's a look at our First Choice Motors instant replay of the game.
An awfully nice interception by Stevie Thomas. The Texas Terror poised to strike at about the 2-yard line, but Stevie Thomas steps in front of the pass and hauls it 42 yards. It leads to a Storm field goal and gave him a 24-19 lead at the time.
Willis lofting one out of the reach of Stevie Thomas. He was belted by Demetrius Martin well after that ball sailed out of play, and Stevie objects to that. Let's have a look at our third quarter statistics.
Tampa Bay only 8 first downs to Texas 12. Tampa has 12 rushing yards, 154 passing yards to 191. 166 total yards for the Storm, 201 total yards for the Texas Terror. With Peter Tom Willis driving the Tampa Bay Storm from the 21.
Second down and 10. Bell in motion. Willis looking for Thomas. He's got a touchdown. Got the feet down before the end line. Stevie Thomas hauls it in, his 9th touchdown catch of the season, and he gets Tampa back in front, 30-25.
Anything can happen at any time in this game of arena football. The 50-yard indoor war, and there is the general of the game right there, Tim Markham, telling Peter Tom Willis which play to run, and PT running it with perfection. You can see Earl Scott with a nice block up front, giving PT plenty of time to throw this beautiful pass. And look at the great catch and the wonderful concentration by Stevie Thomas to get both feet down and inbound. And Tampa Bay is going to go for 2.
They've been successful twice this season. A pass to the France and a run by Jones this year. Willis to pick out Thomas in the end zone. He's got it. And he had it dislodged on a big hit by Martin, who met up with Stevie earlier in this drive, and Thomas is upset. So the conversion is no good. The score remains 30-25 Tampa Bay.
Stevie ought to be upset about that one. Look what happened. Stevie goes up in the air to make the grab. He's about to come down. He gets hit hard, and the ball gets knocked out of his arms, and Stevie knocked out of the end zone. And Stevie Thomas, not a happy camper, but the Storm has a 30-25 lead in the 4th.
You're a judge at America's most prestigious beer competition. You can't see anything. Can't see the labels. All you've got to go on is taste. So who wins the gold medal for best tasting American premium lager? Original Coors. Close your eyes and taste the one that won for taste. Original Coors.
Recently, Circle K asked folks,
which brand should we add to our third cluster pop? Yes.
I would add Gatorade.
What about Pepsi? Everybody likes Pepsi.
No, 7 Up.
Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew rules. Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper.
to conclude you, just give everybody what they want. Circle K Thirst Busters. Now with all your favorite choices.
Everyone can have what they want.
Dave Ewert's team 5 points down early here in the 4th. Tim Markham's club taking the lead over again on the first pass reception of the night by Stevie Thomas, the 21-yard touchdown pass. Rich Ball set to kick off. Here's our signal that we're just about ready to go. And the product of the University of Arizona, Rich Ball, gets plenty of foot into this one, high into the net. Battle. Scoots to the 10, and he's tackled by Sylvester Bembry along with Barley, who might be shaken up once again. And they will mark it at the 13-yard line.
Yeah, Les Barley down on his back at midfield down here, well, at about the 15-yard line. They'll go out and see what the deal is with Les. Pulled a hamstring earlier in the game. See if we can catch what happens to Les Barley. Tracy Sanders almost gets a hand on Cotto. Here comes Les across the middle. Well, he just goes a rolling and rumbling on the ground. Here comes Les across there, makes the hit, goes down on his right knee, and comes rolling to a stop, but he's up.
I think he might have had his bell rung.
I think so.
Is talking with trainer John Colt at this point. Well, during the month of July, the Storm will be giving away over $50,000 in prizes, including a Sea-Doo Wave Runner from Barney's Motorcycle and Marine. And on Saturday, July 26th, the Storm and Harley-Davidson of Tampa will give away a Harley-Davidson motorcycle. Don't miss the fun and excitement during July at the Ice Palace.
Les Barley back up with his helmet on, still in the football game. He is one tough customer. Here's something for you to chew on here in the fourth quarter. Last week against Albany, the Terror lost 63-35, and that was their fourth consecutive loss. Albany scored 21 points in the fourth quarter, and that's how they won that football game.
And they allowed Mike Pulaski to go 17 of 19 in the second half for 4 TDs in that game. And most of that, of course, coming in that fourth quarter. So defense has not been a long suit of the Terror. And the Storm with still 13-13 to play in this one, up 5. And the PT and company ready to get that ball back again shortly if they can, as Gary Porter makes the call in the huddle for the Texas Terror. Motion man is Holmes. And Holmes takes the pass, and he's taken out of bounds at the 19-yard line by Tracy Perkins. A 6-yard pickup. It'll be 2nd and 4.
The Storm defense definitely looking to play tight, but mistake-free. That has to be the key here as the clock begins to wind down. No mistakes. That's what Tim Markham really wants to see here from his Tampa Bay Storm football team. No mistakes.
Porter is top 200 yards for the game, but the 3 interceptions certainly have hurt. Porter fires. Hill on the receiving end, forced out by Perkins. A first down for Texas at the Tampa Bay 21.
Everybody trying to play very carefully here, including the Terror. They want everything to be very precise. They want to run crisp routes. The Tampa Bay defense wants some good, strong, wall-to-wall coverage on these guys. The Storm with a 5-point lead do not want to let this football game slip away. Desperately need to win this thing to stay alive in the battle for the playoffs.
Terror have been able to move the ball effectively in the second half. We get a whistle on the hard count by Porter. That drew Barley offside. Let's see if anybody else moved. But the Terror moving the ball effectively in this half, but they have been prone to making the big mistake, much to the dismay of Dave Ewert, the young head coach. Doesn't look like the call is going to go his way from his reaction.
What's been going on up front is Texas has a couple of linemen rocking back and forth just before the snap.
Offside 46 on the defense. 3-yard penalty.
And that in turn has been drawing Les Barley. Before the ball is snapped, Les thought he had another one there with the rocking lineman. But that call goes against the Storm and will move Texas down to about the 18-yard line.
So Porter has Hill in motion. First down and 7 as the pass to Cotton behind the line of scrimmage, and the Storm feeling it might be ruled a lateral. It will not be. Tim Markham arguing that it should be, as he had Bowden, Thornton, and Sanders all hopping over each other trying to get to that ball, and felt that Tom Ryan, the line judge, should have ruled that a lateral instead of a forward pass.
In fact, if you watch the replay here, you can probably see Tim Markham put his hands up, thought he was going to catch the football. But Cotton just gets a hand on it. Yeah, that's pretty darn close there. Tim Markham Markham trying to get out of the way over here on the sidelines, and that'll bring up another down for Texas, second down.
Plenty of pressure. Here's that middle screen to Chilcote, and he is sent flying, upended by Sanders amid 3, make that 4 penalty markers hitting the turf as Chilcote came down hard at the 8-yard line. Let's see what this penalty's about. It would be a first down if the penalty is against Tampa Bay, but
might be some holding against Chad Kofor down.
Holding 77 on the offense. 8-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
Well, it was holding, but it was on Carlos Fowler. That one going in favor of the Storm. And Fowler right there on the right side of your screen grabs Stevie Thomas by the jersey, tries to yank him down, and that, folks, is called holding no matter where you play the game. And it pushes the Texas Terror back to about the 25-yard line and gives them a long way to go.
Another mistake by the Terror that has benefited Tampa Bay. So it is now going to be second down, and it looks like 14. Porter fires one to Holmes, and Sanders wraps him up. A whistle blows as he goes down ultimately at the 17-yard line. And he will be short of the first down. It's going to bring up a third, and depending on where they mark him, about 6 yards to go. Make it about 3rd and 5.
Gary Porter has really learned to get rid of the ball before Les Barley gets to him back there, because Les has really been supplying a tremendous amount of pressure up front. Almost a face mask right there. Hey, you can even see Tracy Sanders looking at the official. Ball just tipped a little bit. Watch the hand go to the face.
Here's Porter lofting one in the end zone. Perkins nearly intercepted it. Hill prevented that from happening as Perkins made sure that Lloyd Hill had no chance of making the reception. And Perkins has had a crack at 3 interceptions tonight. He does have 1, and he returned that for a touchdown.
A nice look at Tracy Perkins way out front, acting as the receiver instead of the defensive player there. But Tracy Perkins almost had himself another pick tonight. Brings up 4th down for Texas.
Perkins putting on a good show for the folks here in Houston. A lot of family and friends on hand from the Houston area and went to school at Lamar University. Here's Porter on 4th down, looking toward the end zone, and Perkins got a hand on that, incomplete. And the ball belongs to Tampa Bay at the 17-yard line. Holmes, the intended receiver.
That's called a pass defended, and it will be just as good as an interception on that play for Tampa Bay. Porter gets some good protection there by his line. And look at Tracy Perkins way up in the air, just tips the football out of the end zone, out of the hands of Bernard Holmes. Another look at it from this angle. Both of them trying to get a hand on the ball. Neither one of them could. Tracy Perkins has played a whale of a football game tonight for the Storm.
P.T. Willis in the offense. Go to work with a 5-point lead. 8:37 to go here in the ball game. Grandis Bell on the reception. And he's down near midfield. He'll be a couple of yards short of the first down. But the Storm off to a good start on this possession.
Sure would like to score another touchdown or two. You can see Earl Scott, that 300-pound new addition to the Storm line, giving PT some time to find Grandis Bell. And Grandis holding on to the football as he gets rolled to the turf just shy of the 25-yard line. The clock ticking away. PT 181 yards, 13 completions, a pair of touchdowns. He'd like to have another one.
He's got Stevie Thomas in motion. Fires to Stevie in the out pattern. He's taken down by Cotto Cotton at the 10-yard line as the Storm rack up another first down. Moving it quickly in deep in Texas territory. They'll mark him at the 11.
A nice catch by Stevie Thomas, and I think a little mistake there by Cotto Cotton. He runs up to Stevie Thomas, and just before the ball is caught, he kind of pulls up a little bit, almost slowed down just enough to let Stevie catch the ball. Maybe if he had wanted it just a little bit more, he would have stuck a big hand out there, knocked the ball away. But instead, it's a nice pickup for the Storm.
The pitch to Andre Bowden. Cuts it back, and he's scrambles to get to the 2-yard line. He gains 9 yards on the carry. Andre Bowden, who of course has the club record for most yards gained in a season and for a career in Storm history.
Here, Andre Bowden with a nice run. He gets a block right there up front. Gets about 3 of them, in fact, and gets the Storm all the way down to about the 2-yard line. Andre Bowden back in his first game with the Storm. Look at all those awesome Andre records. Carries, rushing yards.
He's got it again. He stopped just short of the goal line. Perhaps a gain of 1 there. Martin involved in the play defensively for the Terror.
Let's get another look at all these. 85 carries in a season, 308 yards rushing, 15 touchdowns, 72 yards rushing in a single game. And on the other side of the ball, 7 sacks in a season. Andre Bowden owns 10 records for the Tampa Bay Storm. And tonight making his presence felt in his first game back with his old ball club. They're taking a measurement here.
They measure for the first down, and they've got it by the nose of the ball. It's 1st and goal from the 1.
Tampa Bay up close. They've liked the run here the last few plays. Let's see if they just go ahead and stick with it. Give the football to Andre Bowden. Les Barley comes off the field onto the bench. Les has played a good game tonight. He's been a hurting puppy, but he's been out there grinding away.
Bowden, the lone setback. LaFrance, the motion man. And Bowden trying to follow the block of Stevie Thomas. Gets it near the goal line, but he was tackled by Lloyd Hill on good penetration into that backfield. And he's going to be just short. It'll be 2nd and goal.
Andre Bowden got off to the left side of the line, got a good block. Had his knee down on the ground and tried to stick it out through there. You can see in the all-time rushing leaders, Les Barley, the all-time rushing leader with the AFL with 876 yards. Andre Bowden down there with 552 yards in his career.
2nd and goal. Bowden again the call. Going to muscle it in. Plenty of members of the Terror there to try to stop him. He dives across, and on the 2nd and 3rd effort, it's a Tampa Bay Storm touchdown with a penalty marker down. What an effort by Andre Bowden, who left the Storm to join the New Orleans Saints back in 1994.
The offense, no tight end declared. 3-yard penalty. Repeat, 2nd down.
A tough mistake there for Tim Markham to swallow, as, of course, in each play, the tight end has to raise his hand, declare himself to the defense and to the officials. That did not happen. As a result, the 3-yard penalty wipes out the touchdown, and it will bring it back to the 4-yard line. And it will be 2nd and goal once again. But Bowden had spent the last couple of years with the New England Patriots. He was on IR most of last season, and then, as Jerry pointed out, this year in the World League in Frankfurt, Germany. Now Willis looks to throw. And he completes it for the touchdown to George LaFrance, the 4-yard touchdown pass. Mission accomplished for the Tampa Bay Storm. They up that lead to 36-25. The clock running with 4:35 remaining. And Rich Ball comes on to try to tack on the point after.
We've talked before about the strength of George LaFrance. I could hear him get hit all the way up here in this press box. George LaFrance with the great catch, and he takes the solid lick right there, but he wraps both those strong arms around the football, gives the Storm the lead. Rich Ball comes in, makes the extra point good, and Tampa Bay now takes a 37-25 lead with 4 minutes and 13 seconds left here in Houston.
Have a look at our First Choice Motors instant replay.
And it's a beautiful touchdown from Peter Tom Willis to George LaFrance. Here's PT getting some good blocking up there by Earl Scott. And a nice grab, and look at his head jerk back when he got hit. George LaFrance manages to hang on to that football. Great effort by George LaFrance on holding on to that thing, and the Storm leads now 37-25.
Penalty marker down from the 12. Porter fires. The ball is, no, it's incomplete. Looked like Blackshear had it, but he trapped it. And now we'll investigate the penalty from the line of scrimmage. Jack Baker explaining the options to Edwin Howard.
Appears to be a penalty on the Storm.
Illegal defense, stacking by the linebackers, 5-yard penalty, first down.
What happened there, one of the linebackers lined up directly behind one of the defensive linemen. That's not allowed. He has got to line up in the gap. And so that was detected. Illegal defense. And on the automatic first down, they bring it out to the 17. Here's Porter connecting with Holmes. Perkins trying to drag him down. Samuels got the ball loose. And who's got it? The Storm feel they have it. Blackshear dove in there looking to make the recovery. And Dave Ewert's come off the bench to protest what he believes should have been a terror recovery, but Samuels has the ball. Blackshear is still down, shaken up. And we have not seen an indication. Well, the only indication we have here is that it's still Texas ball. And it will be a gain out to midfield. 2nd and 2.
A pretty wild play here. The Storm well, they strip the ball away right there. Lawrence Samuels does it. Strips the football away, as Tampa Bay has been trying to do all night long. But Texas apparently falls on the football. It's a battle in there, too.
Yeah, if there's a tie, it goes to the offense, kind of like baseball. A tie at first, it goes to the runner. And that might have been what the situation was, with the Blackshear paying a heavy price for making the recovery, now being helped to his feet. And Samuels involved in that recovery as well.
Bernard Holmes trying to hang on to the ball, but the Storm defense manages to rip it away from him, and Rodney Blackshear awarded custody of that football as he manages to fall on it. Gains possession under the tie.
Clock running at 3:13. Ball at midfield. 2nd and 2 for Texas. Howard is the motion man. Porter steps back, looking long. Perkins reaches up, makes the grab, and it's an interception. He got his foot down before the end line. And Tracy Perkins has his 2nd pickoff of the night, much to the dismay of Gary Porter. So on the touchback, the Storm have the ball with 3:02 remaining from the 5.
Well, you see Gary Porter under a little pressure there by Earl Scott. He lets it fly, and Tracy Perkins is all the way down there, and he makes the grand leap and comes down with Mr. Pigskin, Edwin Howard, over there, too. He doesn't even try for the football, as it's really thrown right to Tracy Perkins. Makes his 2nd interception of the night. This defensive secondary has done their job so far here in Houston.
Sanders has an interception. So does Thomas. For a grand total of 4 picks of Gary Porter tonight. Here's Willis connecting with Larry Kennedy. He's wrestled out of bounds by Demetrius Martin at the 10-yard line. A gain of about 5, and it keeps things moving here. Of course, the clock will not stop for a play out of bounds or an incompletion until we get inside the final minute of this 4th quarter.
The Storm lead by 12, but with 2 minutes and change left, that's plenty of time for anything and everything to happen in arena football. Tim Markham knows it. He's a little nervous still. Peter Tom Willis over the 200-yard mark, a trio of touchdowns tonight.
BT back to throw, firing, and connecting. Samuels escapes the clutches of Billy Mitchell and is taken down to the Texas 16-yard line by Howard. A huge gain for the Storm and a first down as they continue to march.
Under 2 minutes to go now in this football game, and Tim Markham will use the clock to his advantage. Peter Tom Willis, again, you can't say enough about Earl Scott playing his first arena football game. Hanging on up front, making things happen. Lawrence Samuels with the nice grab. Got to give this guy a lot of credit for plenty of strength there. Lawrence Samuels hauls it down and picks up some more yards.
That play good for 24 yards. Farley cuts it back, and comes down to the 14-yard line, tackled by Rodney Gover, number 50. A pickup of 2. Texas will use their first of 3 timeouts in the second half. It's going to be 2nd and 8 for the Storm. And you talked about Samuel's second effort. We saw it in the first half on a play where he stretched to get a first down, picked up an extra 8 yards or so. We saw him looking for a second effort on another play in this half that ended up getting him knocked into the boards head first. And second effort helping the Storm keep things moving with 1:09 remaining. And a 12-point lead. The Terror have taken a timeout to stop the clock. We will get, of course, the clock stopped at the 1-minute mark for the warning.
Now the Storm getting some smiles on their faces over on the bench. Dave Winham, assistant head coach under Tim Markham, contributes an awful lot to this football team. Talking it up on the sidelines to the boys.
Willis looking for Samuels, closed off by Cotton, and the ball sailed in and out of the stands, incomplete.
I think Lawrence was looking for a little pass interference over there, but I think the official is telling him that the ball was uncatchable.
We're at the 1-minute warning. We'll be back in a moment. LaFrance in motion, a minute to play. Willis fires out of the reach of Larry Kennedy, incomplete. And Rich Ball set to step out of the bench and come onto the field for a field goal attempt.
That brings up 4th down.
4th down and 8. And out comes Rich, who is 1 for 2 tonight, missing from 57 yards on an attempt where he really didn't try to make the kick because of an injury suffered during the warm-up. He kind of pooched the ball down the field. That was the best he could do from that distance. And he did convert from 25 yards in the third quarter. Spot this one at the 22. It's a 30-yard attempt. We get some motion in the line, and a flag goes flying.
Willie Wyatt hobbled out there at the center position to make the long
Ball start, 52 on the offense, 3-yard penalty.
little mistake there by Earl Scott. Understandable for him, playing his first arena football game tonight. Has done a good job otherwise.
So now they back it up with a spot at midfield. A 33-yard attempt for Fall. Willis puts it down. Plenty of leg into the kick, and it's good. Rich Ball connects with 52 seconds remaining. He's 2 of 3 tonight. And he builds that lead now to 40-25 Tampa Bay. We'll be back with the closing moments of tonight's game in just a moment. Considerably, the group that was assembled here tonight at the Summit in Houston, as the Storm, who had lost 4 out of 5 coming in, appear to be on their way to a much-needed victory to pull their record to 500. And as we showed you early on tonight, the overall standings in the Arena Football League, this is a crucial victory to try to cement a playoff position for the Tampa Bay Storm. Of course, 4 games remain in the regular season after tonight. And you still need some help from other teams to try to knock off some of the clubs who are competing with you for a spot. Otto Cotton picking the ball up off the turf, and he runs into Tony Wood at the 7-yard line. Well, that Cotton, 190 pounds, but he packs a punch. Tony Woods there to bring him to an abrupt halt at the 7.
Yeah, Cotton, a pretty feisty little fella out there when he's running head first into a great big guy like Tony Woods, and just kind of bounces up, shakes a leg, and says, let's go do it again.
Well, young Gary Porter in his first season in the Arena Football League, his second start. Clint Dalzell is expected to miss 1 more game because of a fractured foot before he is expected to come back. Spun around after the catch by Sanders. Kennedy finishes him off at the 19-yard line. And they pick up 12. They get a first down, and they'll use the second of their 3 allotted timeouts.
No, the Storm holding on to a 15-point lead now with 43.5 seconds to go from the cemetery, otherwise known as the Summit, here in Houston. And for the third consecutive game, Tampa Bay has managed to terrorize the Texas Terror. Beat them a couple times last year, looking to extend that streak to 3 in a row.
Always good for a team like the Storm to come to the state of Texas and come out with a victory. Of course, head coach Tim Markham, a native of Snyder, Texas. Woody Kern makes his home in Texas. Tom Rossley, assistant offensive coach from the Dallas area. Plenty of family and friends on hand, certainly for players as well, like Tracy Perkins. As we look at the road record for the Storm, they'll push it up over the 500 mark with a win tonight. They'll be at 3-2. Always a franchise that has found success on the road. Gary Porter has Howard in motion, looking for the big guy. Falls out of bounds to save time. Is ruled out at the 18-yard line with 38.9 seconds remaining, and a first down for the Terror.
Find it a bit interesting that Tampa Bay is managing to win this football game with having scored only 40 points, averaging only about 38 points a game this year. Not very good for a Storm team that's accustomed to scoring much more. They've scored 50 points 35 times, and they've won 32 of them.
Here's the pass back to Kato Cotton, and he races ahead before he's knocked down by Samuels and Kennedy at the 7-yard line. And he will pick up another Texas first down on the gain of 11. It'll be first down and goal. The clock at 31 seconds and counting. Porter fires, and it's off the hands of Cotton and out of bounds. The clock will now stop with 23.8 seconds to go.
So that would certainly give the Tampa Bay defense plenty of credit. The offense scoring 40 points when they're accustomed to scoring much more. It means the defense is playing an awfully good football game. They did it a couple of weeks ago at home in winning there, shutting down New York. Tonight they do it here in Texas. 4 interceptions for Tampa Bay tonight.
Here's the pass for Howard. He's got a touchdown over the shoulder of Perkins. A 7-yard touchdown pass from Porter to Howard, and that cuts the lead to 40-31 with 21.1 remaining.
Yeah, Tampa Bay really didn't want to give that one up, but at this point in the game, unless something phenomenal happens in the favor of Texas, it's not going to affect the outcome here. It was a well-executed play. Howard pulls it down to the end zone, followed closely by Tracy Perkins, and Texas will go for 2.
Once again, they like to look for homes in these situations. They've even tried to play on a conversion where they threw the pass into the net and tried to bank it to him. Let's see what Porter does here. He throws looking for Howard, and it's incomplete. Good coverage by Perkins, and they fail on the 2-point conversion attempt, and it's now 40-31 and 21.1 remaining.
Tracy Perkins again with the coverage. He's had a whale of a night. Plenty of friends and relatives on hand here tonight to watch him play this ball game in Houston. Tracy Perkins has come up with a pair of interceptions. The entire Storm secondary has 4 tonight. Well, Stevie Thomas, a linebacker. I guess that's not exactly the secondary, but in any case, the Storm defense picks off Gary Porter 4 times tonight. There's the part of the Storm crew making the trip out here to Texas.
Got their Sunshine Network signs.
It's always good to see.
Oh, yeah. So the trip worthwhile for several Storm fans who have made the trek out here to Houston on the holiday weekend. As we look at Big Frank, the mascot of the Terror. There's Joe Lohr discussing the merits of Tampa Bay's effort tonight. And a couple of seats down, Amy Markham, the wife of head coach Tim Markham of the Storm.
This is a huge win for Tampa Bay. They come on the road. You know, they really have played better on the road this year than they have at home. In all honesty, Peter Tom Willis has played better on the road.
As has the rest of the team. It's the snowball effect. He gets more time. He's more efficient. The patterns are sharper. Onside kick, and it's taken by Samuels. Down he goes hard off the collision with Tarkowski. But the Storm do get the ball at the 15-yard line.
More proof of the toughness of Lawrence Samuels. Has to go up in the air to get that football. It comes down hard on his left elbow. Gets up.
Jerry, you bring up an interesting point, though, how they have played better. It's the snowball effect. He gets more time. He's more efficient. The patterns are sharper. Onside kick, and it's taken by Samuels. Down he goes hard off the collision with Tarkowski. But the Storm do get the ball at the 15-yard line.
More proof of the toughness of Lawrence Samuels. Has to go up in the air to get that football. It comes down hard on his left elbow. Gets up.
Jerry, you bring up an interesting point, though, how they have played better on the road, because now the challenge is they have got to find a way to get sharper at home at the Ice Palace. They're home against the Piranhas next Saturday at 7:30. Then they've got Iowa coming in on the 19th, and a game against the Florida Bobcats on the 26th. The 3 of their last 4 will be at the Ice Palace. Farley on the carry with 15 seconds remaining. And Texas will use its last timeout with 12.9 to go.
And you know, that playing well on the road really might be a good thing for this football team, because even though they play their next 3 at home, if they manage to win at least 2 of those games, Iowa Barnstormers going to be an awfully tough team. They'll be looking for a little revenge from this Storm team. Beat them last year in the Arena Bowl Finals, Tampa Bay did. So Storm manages to get themselves in the playoffs. Chances are they'll be in the bottom echelon of the playoffs, which means they most likely will play at least one, if not all, of their playoff games on the road. Well, that could mean that they could have a better chance for success in the Arena Bowl playoffs.
That's the way it's worked. The last 5 Arena Bowl champions have won on the road. So keep that in mind. Of course, that's down the road a ways as Farley on the final carry of the game. That is going to do it. Our MVP of this game, Tracy Perkins, and Cotto Cotton, the Iron Man of the game. Dave Ewert and Tim Markham exchange greetings at the end of the contest. But the Storm, mission accomplished, knowing coming into these final 5 weeks they needed to beat this Texas team, and they do so 40-31. They're now at 5-5, and as we've been talking about the schedule ahead, 3 of their last 4 at the Ice Palace. We'll return to wrap up tonight's game in a moment. Our final score tonight here at the Summit in Houston, 40-31, the Tampa Bay Storm over the Texas Terror. The Storm now at 5-5. Welcome to the Pepsi postgame report here at the Summit. And the Storm very happy, and among the happiest members of the team is a guy who's got plenty of family and friends on hand tonight, and certainly the star of this game, the MVP, Tracy Perkins. And Tracy, congratulations on a great effort. I know you guys have been hoping to make some big plays, and certainly your interception for the touchdown, as we're looking at it, the viewers at home are seeing it now, was a big play. Tell us about that.
And the quarterback didn't make the proper read, and I was able to step in front of the ball and make an interception.
Tracy, you had a whale of a game tonight. 2 interceptions. The fact that you're playing here in front of a lot of your family and friends, how much did that pump you up here to provide that action for the Storm tonight?
Well, it was very exciting to play in front of my family and friends and prove to them that I still play this game very well, and I wanted to put on a show for them.
You know, coming into this football game tonight, the defensive secondary, well, the entire Storm defense had only 7 interceptions. Tonight, you really step it up with 4, a tremendous defensive effort. Talk about how well you guys came together tonight.
Well, the key to the secondary is talking together, communicating very well, and we did that tonight, and we was able to make some big plays.
Now, we've talked in the past, Tracy, about one of the keys in making interceptions is keeping contact with a quarterback's eyes. Was that something that helped you out in a number of plays tonight?
It helped me out on several plays, and I was able to read the quarterback's eyes. He wasn't doing a good job of looking off the receivers, and the routes they run, we see those every day in practice, and I was able to step in front of a couple of passes.
As you look ahead, you've got 3 of the last 4 games at home. What's going to be the key now to finding the successful formula for you guys at the Ice Palace?
Well, at the Ice Palace, we like to get more fan support and get on our side. But as far as the team is concerned, we need to come together, communicate more. The defense has been playing, I think, well all year, and we come together as an offensive team. I think we'll do okay in going through the playoffs.
Well, Tracy, certainly you guys come back home now in those final 4 weeks with the momentum off this victory, and the best of luck to you in continuing that momentum and cementing that playoff spot and perhaps getting a home seed here.
Thank you very much, and hopefully things will go well and we can go and win these next 4 games and hopefully have a home playoff game.
All right, Tracy Perkins, our star of the game, as he had a couple of picks tonight. We're going to look at his second one. We saw the one for the touchdown and a great leaping grab in front of Edwin Howard late in this ball game that helped seal a victory of 40-31, the Storm over the Texas Terror. And we'll be back with more in just a moment. Host the 7-2 Predators at 6:30. Join us for that. And on Friday, it'll be the Philadelphia Phillies and the Florida Marlins. Our coverage begins with a live action at 7 o'clock here on Sunshine Network. Well, our thanks to the Storm organization for helping us in our coverage of the team this season. Everybody at Sunshine Network, it has been a lot of fun in covering this football team. We look forward to the Storm going on to the playoffs and the success that they're used to going on to the Arena Bowl Championship. They win tonight by the count of 40-31. And for our crew here in Houston and Jerry Johnson, Rick Peckham saying so long from the summit.